We're now dealing with square roots. Now, a common thing that teachers in elementary school tell their students is if you want to find the square root of a number, this works very well by the way, is what number times itself equals the number under the symbol. And that's generally what we do to find a square root. As a quick side note, in math, everything we teach, we usually teach you something and then we teach you the opposite. So when you were a kid, you were taught adding, then after adding, you were taught subtracting. How to do something, then how to undo it. After that, you were taught how to multiply, then they teach you how to divide. So if I'm teaching you square roots, what's the opposite of that? Well, square roots are really the opposite of exponents, specifically exponents to the second power. So if you take something and you put it to the second power, let's say 4 to the second, well 4 to the second is 16. If you turn right around and you want to undo that, you undo that with a square root. What's the square root of 16? It's 4. So, and that's just kind of a little math theory for behind it. But as far as actually doing it, what number times itself will give us the number under the symbol. That works great. So the first example, the square root of 36. What number times itself is 36? And that would be 6. 6 times 6 is 36. That's it, just write a 6. I get students now and then that want to put extra things up there. They want to write 6 times 6. It's just what number times itself, write that now. Now, on the second one, I wrote a negative number on the outside. So the square root of 81 is 9, and with this negative symbol, the answer is negative 9. It also probably bears mentioning that these answers are always positive unless there's a negative symbol on the outside. If you have a negative symbol on the inside, that's really, at this point, a no solution because there's no number times itself that's a negative number. Now when you go a little further in mathematics, they'll talk about imaginary numbers, but for right now, you can't take the square root of a negative. It doesn't work. The third one, I have the negative sign outside, and oh no, it's a dreaded fraction again. Hey, it's not a big deal. What's the square root of 81? It's 9. Just get that up here. What's the square root of 100? 10 times 10, it's 10. So it's negative 9/10. People see fractions and they sometimes freak out or panic. With square roots, you just do the square root of the top and the square root of the bottom. Now, the last one up here, there's a little addition on the inside of it. We don't really talk about this, but on all square roots, if there's something to do on the inside, it's like there are some understood parentheses there. And although we haven't talked about order of operations yet, you should know that you always do what's inside the parentheses first. So the first thing we have to do is we have to add up 23 and 41. 23 plus 41 is 64. What is the square root of 64? Well, what number times itself is 64? I hope in your brain you're thinking 8. Anyway, that is square roots. It's pretty straightforward. Don't overthink it. What number times itself equals the number inside the symbol. It'll work every single time.